Hey guys, in my last video I showed you how to make a bootable USB. Here I have the bootable USB that I made last time when I was showing the tutorial to make one, and now I'm going to show you how to install Windows 10 bootable through a USB into your laptop. I had this old laptop, I don't even know what are the specifications, but let's power it up and see if it still works though. So of course you need to plug in your USB into the laptop. When you power up your laptop, you're going to get an option at the bottom here saying either to go into the BIOS setup utility or to choose to get into the Bootable Manager. Now for those people who know how to get into the BIOS and how to configure it, you may know that under the boot section in the BIOS you have the options to choose what to boot with. Now as you can see here, we have the USB memory stick which I have collected from this laptop, we have the CD drive, and we have the hard disk. So usually this will not be the first option, as I have configured this previously and made the USB flash drive to boot first. It would probably be at the bottom or the third option. Now as per this laptop, to change the values you need to press F7 or F8. So therefore you need to bring USB memory flash or probably SanDisk or any other flash drive name that's going to be there. It's going to be mentioned in USB exactly the way it mentions HHD here, which is HDD, sorry, which is hard drive, and CD DVD, which is the CD-ROM drive. Same thing we mentioned USB with probably the manufacturer name, or this is a generic flash that says memory flash. Press the to change the values and bring it to the top. That way it will always choose USB to boot as a boot medium first if it's available. If not, it will proceed to the second one, which is the CD-ROM drive, which if doesn't have any bootable medium will proceed to the third option, which is the hard drive. If the hard drive has Windows installed, it will proceed to boot with it, else it will just tell you that there is no bootable device available. Once you have set the boot USB as the first option, save the settings. Most BIOS has it as F10, and say yes. The other option I told you about was booting through the boot manager. For this laptop you have to press F12 for that. So once I press F12, it gives me the boot menu. In the boot menu you can notice that the USB memory is the first option here. That's because on the BIOS itself we have set it as the first option. If we change it to the second, third, or even the fifth option, it will proceed to that point. So if yours is anywhere within this list, go to it using the arrow keys and select that option. So since mine is the first one, I'll just go to it and press enter. It's going to take a while because I believe this machine is quite old. As I noticed on the BIOS, it's a 512 MB RAM with a 1.9 GHz dual core processor. So I believe this will be quite slow. There you have it. Windows is trying to boot from the flash drive. The good thing about using a USB to boot with compared to a CD-ROM drive is the USB read and write transfer is way faster than a CD-ROM drive. Therefore installation is way quicker compared to a CD-ROM drive. I've personally tried to install Windows 7 through a CD. It would take you at least half an hour, and it would take you 10 minutes to 15 minutes to install it from a flash drive. So the previous option was you need to select your language and your keyboard layout. Now if you had followed my previous video on how to get the ISO image for Windows 10, you would know that it actually, before downloading the Windows ISO file, you need to select your language. Now that's why I selected US, and I only have the US language version right now. And also the keyboard layout, since I have a standard US keyboard layout, I'm using the US keyboard layout settings on the Windows installation. So the first option you have here is to repair your Windows. So in case if you have Windows 10 previously installed and it's corrupt or is not booting up, you could always use repair your computer and fix up the boot. But if you're trying to install a fresh Windows, you can always select the option of install now. On newer computers, this process will be extremely fast, but here right now it's a bit slow, and let's see how long it takes. What I could do for you is I could just fast forward the video for you, and oh, never mind. So here, since this is the original Windows, you have to put your product key over here. If you have one or you've purchased one, you can always put it right here. If not, you can always say I don't have the product key. Windows will let you use Windows for approximately 3 days, and after that you need to register it. It'll keep prompting you to register for another week or month or two, and eventually it's going to lock you out till you have to register with a key. So since this is just a trial phase, I'll just say I don't have a key for now. Here you have to select what kind of operating system you want. Since the architecture is 64-bit, all the options here are 64-bit, then you can choose what version you want. There's Home, which is mostly for home PC usage, Education, Pro even has Pro Education, and Pro for workstations. So based on your requirements, which you can actually check on the website as to what the differences are on the internet, you can choose which one you want. I'll just go for the 10 Home right now and say next. These are the terms and conditions for Microsoft. Say accept, next. These options here, one is basically to upgrade it. So if, let's say for instance, you're having Windows XP, Windows 7, Windows 8, Windows 10, older version and so on, you can always choose the upgrade, whereby it will keep your files, it'll keep your settings, it'll keep everything, and all they do is just install Windows on your existing Windows. But as of right now, I just want to go to the custom install, which means I can choose what partitions I want, how many partitions, and delete all the data that's currently existing there. So I'm going to start with deleting all these partitions. For deleting a partition, you need to select on the partition, select delete at the bottom, and click OK. It's going to delete the partition. Same with the others. You notice as I keep deleting the partitions, it all ends up into one. Now this is your hard disk size. As I mentioned, it was 250 GB. That's the hard disk size. Now this hard drive size, the reason why it's all added up into one, because it's one single hard drive with no partitions at the moment. You can create partitions on this. So for instance, if I want to create a partition here, I can always click on new, choose the values here. So this is 250 GB hard disk. I'm going to keep 160 GB for Windows C drive. If you don't want to keep a partition, you can always say new and click apply, and it's going to keep it as one single hard drive partition where all your data and Windows and your software are going to be installed. But I would recommend always have a partition in as a D drive or a secondary drive, where you can save all your data. In case your Windows is corrupt and it's not recoverable, you can always recover your data from the D drive. So once again, I'll just put here 160 GB and I'll say apply. This is basically a prompt telling you that for Windows to work correctly, you need a separate partition for system files. In that, you need to just select OK here and wait till the partition is created. So as you can see, I have my first partition here for Windows, and I have a second partition here for the Windows system files. I'll create the D drive partition right now, and there you go. Now I want to install Windows on this partition. So I make sure I select it and click next. Now it's beginning to install your Windows for you. In case you don't create a partition and want to create it later, it's recommended that you can still do the partition. I will show you that in another video, of course. And also, in case you create a partition but I'm not happy with the size, you can also do that, which I'll also show it in the same video. So as of right now, we just have to wait till this setup is finished. So I will just fast forward it over here to the point where we are actually at finish up point. Okay, see you soon. So once your Windows is finished installing, your PC will automatically reboot. Now the issue arises is that if you have changed your boot device to be USB at first, after the reboot it will automatically boot into Windows setup again. And we do not need that. We actually need it to boot into Windows. So you'll have to go back to your BIOS, go back to the boot section and move the flash down. Doesn't matter where, just make sure that the hard drive is first before the USB. I would always put the hard drive as the complete top because the CD-ROM drive these days is not being used for any booting. And then press F10 to save the settings and press enter. Now your PC is going to boot into Windows. So during the first boot, it quite takes a while because first it's trying to fix all the registry files into place. It's trying to get all the drivers that are available. It tries to check the Microsoft database that's included into Windows, check all the drivers and see if they're compatible to the device of this laptop. If yes, it tries to get all the drivers installed. If not, then they are left out. And also tries to, since it's the first boot, it has to get things ready in place. So the first boot you have, it can also go through the setup of setting up your laptop for the first time, like adding the user, adding the different accounts. Like you have to, if you log in through your Wi-Fi, you'll have to add the live account. So then you'll be using your live account to log in to get the different apps that you have on the store for Microsoft. And for those who have newer laptops which Microsoft does not have the drivers for included in the Windows setup, for them you can get the drivers on the official manufacturer's website. Like for instance, since this is a Toshiba laptop, I can get the driver for Toshiba on the official Toshiba website. So all I have to do is go to the Toshiba website, go to this support section, go to drivers, put in the model and the series. Like for instance, the Satellite L825. So I select Satellite, L series, L825. Select all the drivers and get them downloaded. If for instance you do not find it there, or you're having difficulties to look for the driver on the official site, you can also Google it. Just Google type Toshiba Satellite L825 drivers and it should give you a list of results which includes even Toshiba's website, and you'll have the drivers. If by any chance you did not get the drivers on the official website, there's a high chance that the device is no longer being supported and therefore they do no longer have the drivers. Therefore you'll have to look for other means and other alternatives, like for instance you have to get softwares which are mostly paid, and you have to install it on your PC, which then searches for the drivers all over the internet and downloads them. Only downfall with that is that you'll probably get drivers that will not be compatible with your specific device, and therefore the device will not function properly. Now the PC is booting into Windows itself since the final setup has been done, and once it boots in, it will give me the options of going through setting up Windows itself. Installation is complete. Now we need to do the setup. The whole process has literally almost taken me approximately about 30 minutes due to the fact that it's laptop is old, and Windows 10 is quite heavy for this laptop. But it's just an experiment, and let's just give it a try and see how it goes. So there you have it. The setup is started. Let's put on there. So I'll just turn it off for now. Took like almost 30 minutes for this just to start the setup. So I believe this laptop could not end up handling this. We've reached this far. Let's just finish it off then. So first I choose my language. Now I'm choosing my keyboard settings. It's asking if you have a second keyboard layout that you want to indicate. Here in UAE, some keyboards come in with Arabic letters as well. So this place is where you can actually add the second keyboard layout. That will also allow you to be able to type in English and Arabic as well. But this laptop doesn't have it, and I don't use Arabic, so let's just skip that for now. So now it's going to be checking for a network. At this moment, I don't want to go for the network, because if I do connect to the network, it's going to end up forcing me kinda to log in through a Microsoft account, which I am not a big fan of. So I'll just skip the internet and move on next to. Okay, this is basically telling you what you're missing out if you don't connect to the internet and so on. Like if you use your Microsoft account, you'll have security and unlock the best features of Windows 10, including synchronization of your photos from your Android phone and so on and so forth. We're not into that right now, so let's just continue. Here's where you put in your username, basically the name of the user account that you're going to be using on this account. So for now, I'll just put mine and proceed by clicking next. Here's where you put your password. So I'm going to set up one right now, but if you do require one, you can always set it up. How about I just set one up for you right now and show you what happens when you set up the password. It's confirming the password, and it's going to give you some security questions and so on. That's one reason why I don't like doing it right now, but I'll just go back for this. Try the username again. Cut the password and let's go. So I'll just say yes to that. Accept. Accept. Those are just the terms and policy and all the other things, like if you accept the location being tracked and so on. For those who would like their privacy, you can definitely go through it and check out what they would like to check and what they would like to check. But for me, I've just checked everything in this. Let's go. So now it's just creating the user and configuring all the apps for now. Since this is the first boot, again, like I said, it's going to be a long process, but we're almost done since it's already doing the setup. After this, you'll basically get into your Windows desktop and you're good to go. Due to the machine, like I said, is quite old, it has taken a total of 4 minutes for me to install this Windows and also to configure this. 40 to 50 minutes, I'd say. And probably it would actually clock to an hour, and I was hoping the video would not be this long. I guess I'll have to pop up some things here and there just to make it all smooth and no issues. But such a thing can be avoided in case it's a laptop like this old. You can still be able to use the full potential out of it. Currently right now the issue is that this laptop, it has a dual core, which is good enough. for home usage, not some graphic designing, editing, or gaming and so on. Just for simple home usage like browsing the internet, doing your Microsoft Word and PowerPoint and Excel kind of stuff. So for that kind of stuff, it's pretty good. All you gotta do is use 512 MB. You can probably increase it up to 2 GB maybe RAM, and also fit in a better high disk, better performance. In the next video, I'll show you how this same machine is going to be better with better performance hard disk. So if you're interested in that, do let me know, and I will put that video up as well. So it's about to start up, and as of right now, we no longer need this USB, so you can plug it out. And there you go. Your Windows has been installed.
I hope you enjoyed this video. Please do like, subscribe and share the videos, and do comment down below on the different types of videos you'd like us to make for you, so that we can try and help you understand more in IT, so that you can use it on a daily basis at home or at work. And thank you very much for watching once again. Have a good day.